Abdalati. This is our 20th overall tweet up that the agency's had so far. So you're actually part of tweet up history at this point. So we started this off, we started tweet ups, we kind of knew what we were expecting. The anticipation and the idea was that you guys would be tweeting and sending messages out to your friends and followers and social media. What's interesting about all this is the things we didn't expect. What we didn't expect was the community that came to these tweet ups, especially these launch tweet ups, where people stay 2 nights, they go out together afterward. Lifelong friendships have formed, relationships have come with tweet ups, believe it or not. Some people have now had careers in space and they didn't even think of that before. They're now in the aerospace industry. We had someone actually told me the other day that it's their mission in life to inspire children on science, engineering, and technology. Because of that. Another thing we didn't really anticipate was, and it's kind of the whole product of Twitter, we didn't anticipate what the ramification would be to those who didn't get selected. For example, normally you do some sort of contest or awards or a raffle or whatever. You don't really see people that don't get chosen. And for this tweet up, we had over 4,000 people that wanted to be here, wanted to be sitting in the seats you're in today, but couldn't. And they just didn't make it, unfortunately. And we had to see their disappointment on Twitter. We were all reading their tweets. And that was really tough for us because if we had our way, everyone who wanted to be here would be here. And we would open up Kennedy Space Center, open up NASA to the world. So we kind of hope that you guys, hopefully people are watching at home, and hopefully you guys are getting the word out, using the hashtag NASA Tweet Up, and getting the word out to what you're experiencing, and hopefully have more of these throughout the agency. Everyone who didn't make it, we try to tell them this isn't the last one. In fact, in early June, the Jet Propulsion Laboratory is going to have a tweet up, and hopefully we'll have another tweet up for the STS-135 mission, the last station. How do these things happen, these tweet ups, especially these launch tweet ups? And I know what you're all thinking. You're thinking Wonder Woman, Stephanie Sherrills. Stephanie deserves the applause, absolutely. She puts so much time and dedication in this. She's very responsive. Every question she tries to get to. But really, this is a big team effort from a lot of different people at NASA. Here today, you have folks from the Goddard Space Flight Center, we have people from the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, Ames Research Center, Johnson Space Center, NASA headquarters, all came down here to contribute to help in this cause of making this event happen for you. We have the folks at NASA Television here streaming this for us. We have the NASA photographers. We have the folks on the web that got the registration form and everything set up. And of course we have that who helped fund this through space operations. This Ted, you're in today. So what are you going to see today? We just found out recently we're going to open the Vehicle Assembly Building. It's a big deal because sometimes there's operations and we don't get to take folks there. So you're going to get to go there. You're going to look at the program. You can see kind of the things you're going to get to see. You're going to go to the launch pad. You're going to get to go to the Saturn V Center. But really it's more than that, right? It's more than just seeing stuff. You're part of history here. As you all know, this Endeavour's final flight, the second to last space shuttle flight ever. When I was born, the Apollo program was ended. I don't remember it. I love the iconic photos of Man on the Moon, but this is my space program. From my earliest memory, I can recall the space shuttle, and it's going to be gone soon. And that doesn't mean it's the end. It's a very sad time, and a lot of people have mixed emotions because it is part of our life. But what's happening next is NASA's moving on to new things. There's a new direction, and there's going to be a new space program for another generation. Commercial space flight's taking off. It's going to hopefully make space more accessible to everybody. And NASA's focusing on what it does best, exploration. We're going to be developing spacecrafts and rockets that are going to take us out beyond the Earth orbit, out to the solar system. And that's something really exciting to look forward to. And so while the space shuttle is going away, NASA is still the leader in space flight in the world. We don't just do human space flight. We have so many different missions. We look for exoplanets outside of other stars. We have Earth observation satellites. We have satellites orbiting the Moon and orbiting Mercury, orbiting Mars. We do groundbreaking aerospace research. This is a leading space agency in the world, and we should all be very proud to be here. I know I'm proud to work for NASA. This is an exciting time for everybody. Often it's called, this is called a golden ticket getting here, like the Willy Wonka reference. And it's true. You're going to get to go on tours. You're kind of special. You have your golden tickets, get to be here today. But you're not going to see any Oompa Loompas on any of the tours. But I do want to make one point before I turn over to our first speaker. One thing you will see here is a dedicated workforce at Kennedy Space Center, who've given their careers, their lives to make sure the shuttle flies safely and launch and operations. They dedicated time at Johnson Space Center and all the human space flight centers for the space shuttle program. And I want to give a shout out to them because they have worked there. What you see today, what you're going to see tomorrow is a marvel in human technology and ingenuity. It's 30 years of people dedicating their lives to the space shuttle program. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to NASA's Chief Scientist, Waleed Abdalati. Waleed.
Guess I'll go with this. Can you hear me? No. I'll go with this. Can you hear me? Now? I'm the chief scientist, I'm not the chief technologist. I make do with what I can. First of all, I'd like to start by welcoming you all here and to offer my congratulations. And really to tell you that it's a privilege for me to be up here talking to you. That's sort of customary to say, it's a polite thing to say, but I really mean it because you are the enthusiasts. You are the ones who live and breathe this. The general public will carry these messages forward and will turn what lies ahead, I think, into a great success. So really, the privilege is mine to be here to speak to you. And I want to invite you, as you go through your tour, as you listen to what's being said today, and most significantly, as you are feeling the rumble of the ground beneath your feet, and you witness the launch, the takeoff, understand that there'll be a lot of feeling in the air, both emotional and physical, actually. But understand that what you're watching is really the culmination of many, many years of effort, many years of technology investment, engineering efforts, science investments, and you're a part of that. You make this happen, and it doesn't happen without the general public, and without people believing it. And the engineers, the scientists, the technologists, we make it happen in an on-the-ground sense, but it's a national spirit. And this is a human triumph that you're witnessing, that you are not just witnessing, but are a part of. And I encourage you to embrace it, to drink it in, to feel it. Let it pulse through your body. Take it all in, because it's really a remarkable achievement, and I really think it's the culmination of so much investment of sweat, of blood, of spirit, of soul. And that's really what it's all about. These activities are part of the soul of this nation, the soul of our society. And if you did not believe that, you would not have gone to the efforts you've gone through to get here. Another point I want to make is, and I want to leave some time for questions because I think what you have to say is going to be far more interesting than what I have to say. But a lot of people, as was said earlier, kind of view this as an end. Oh, you just made it. STS 130 floors, there's only one more, you're witnessing the end and then you're out. Well, it is the end of it, and you're out. But I don't view this as the end. I view this as a transition, the start of a new beginning. And while transitions are always bittersweet, a lot of times we focus on what we're leaving behind, that we've all grown to know and love. I invite you to focus on what lies ahead. There is tremendous opportunity ahead, and many of you are in a generation younger than my own. I do remember the Apollo landings. And they were fabulous to my 5-year-old brain. But many of you are going to witness, be a part of, and really the public, you guys are a part of this, what lies ahead. And, one, 300 years from now, when we're wherever we are, doing whatever we're doing, this is going to be the generation that's looked back on. Yeah, they made it happen. They made the right choices. They carried it forward. You know, the phrase, difficult fiscal times, hopefully will be a difficult memory. But these are challenging times, so we're trying to do the best we can to move forward, and I think NASA and the President have laid out a path forward for us that is exciting, will be very successful, and enable great things. So this is a transition. It's a transition from assembly of the space station to research on the space station. A transition from government-led low Earth orbit activities and putting people on the station to commercially led activities. It's a transition of the focus from low Earth orbit and putting people around and around the Earth, which is amazing, to looking beyond, carrying us outward as we grow into space. So it's not really just the end. It's a very, very exciting beginning. And during this transition, I would be remiss in my role as chief scientist if I didn't remind you that we are doing amazing things in the sciences. Okay? There is a lot of activity, some of which, you know, maybe will come more to the forefront as the human space activity is undergoing this transition. But if you think about it, in the next 12 months, we're launching 6 great missions, 6 robotic probes. Some of these will be studying the Earth, help us understand the planet we live on, our impacts on that planet, and how to plan for the future that lies ahead. One of these will be orbiting the moon, examining the moon's interior. One is going to be landing on the surface of Mars, okay, and carrying a capacity that has yet to be executed on another object in our solar system. Another is going to be looking at the universe in new ways. And if you think about, through X-ray astronomy, if you think about what NASA does, not just in human exploration, which we all know and love and appreciate is phenomenal, but also in the sciences, which fundamentally challenge and change our understanding of our universe, of our planet, of our solar system. We look to the edges of the universe, back in time, over 13 billion years, to close to the beginning of time. It rains methane on Titan, methane lakes, methane rivers. Try and picture that in your head. We've discovered that. We're learning about our solar system. The comet flybys, orbit asteroids, and dwarf planets. And we reveal the unknown about the very planet on which we live. So, as we grow outward in our human exploration of space, and we increase our knowledge of the universe, the solar system, the sun, our place in the universe, I think we have an amazing track record, an exciting track record. But here's the great part. I think the best stuff is in front of us. I think there's a lot ahead of us. Spread the word, appreciate it, feel it, embrace it. It's yours, it's ours. We are all a part of this investment. We will all reap the benefits of the hard work and commitment of those involved. So those are my comments. I'd like to leave a little time for you to ask questions, voice whatever's on your mind, or just sit back and I can think of more stuff to say.
Thanks for your inspiring words. I tell my high school students to do their homework and work hard. What would you tell my high school students about science and exploration?
I would tell your high school students that there is a brilliant future that's theirs for the creating. It's not theirs for the taking, it's theirs for the creating. And the way you get to that future is through hard work. I'll give you a little aside since I mentioned the Apollo. When one of the last Apollo landings occurred, I went to my teacher in 2nd grade, Miss Wiki, whatever you are, thank you. And I asked her, I said, I walked up to her in my little chubby 2nd grade way, and I said, I don't get it. She said, what don't you get, Waleed? I said that to her a lot. I don't get it. I said, the rocket has to fly towards a place where the planet isn't, or where the moon isn't, so that when it gets there, the moon is there. How do they figure that out? And she said, oh, they got all kinds of fancy equations. They use math to do this. And I remember, math. That sounds great. I want to learn some math. Maybe one day work for NASA. I did learn math, and here I am. So it's theirs for the creating.
Any other questions? Interesting science questions. What is the current plan for manned spaceflight? Is there? My understanding is that there were going to be some on the Ares rockets, but Ares. You can. I think you can take this.
Yeah, our heavy lift capacity for going beyond Earth orbit is under development, and what NASA is doing now is shifting the responsibility, the level of investment we as an agency make in low Earth orbit activities to the commercial sector. We often hear, and I believe it's true, if you give people the power to innovate, they will do innovative things. So we're transitioning that aspect of our portfolio to commercial enterprises so that we can focus on heavy lift capacity. And those are areas, and by heavy lift I mean that will take us farther beyond low Earth orbit. So those are efforts that are just beginning to emerge, and we'll see the benefits as time goes on.
Hi, my name is Daniel Scoop. I work at ISA, and when I went on the tour at the visitor center yesterday, they give you that tour of all the rockets outside. And one of the points that the tour guide kept mentioning again and again was that these were all developed during the Cold War at a time of competition. And he said that today it's all about cooperation. Just wondering, what are some of the main areas where you see us cooperating in the future?
Well, obviously the International Space Station is a tremendous area of cooperation and tremendous success, and one of the things that's remarkable about that is, following from your reference to the Cold War, that the adversaries of the Cold War are tremendous partners in that activity. So the potential for collaboration, I think, permeates NASA. In fact, it's part of the national space policy. There are certainly efforts underway for science missions, because some of these large, what we call flagship missions, the very expensive ones, are too costly for any one nation to undertake. So we partner with the European Space Agency, we partner with JAXA, we partner with other agencies. You touched on two parts of the spectrum for advancing, moving forward. One is competition with a fierce adversary, which was the Apollo era. And I would argue that's a tremendous motivator, but it comes at a remarkable price. A huge fraction of the national budget went to NASA at that time. Not that I wouldn't like to see a huge fraction come now, but it's not efficient. The other end of the spectrum is through partnerships, taking the best of what each entity has to offer, bringing it to the table, and advancing collectively forward. And I think we see that in station. I think we see that in some of our planetary missions. I think we see that in our deep space missions and our Earth observing missions. So the full spectrum is open, not just open for collaboration, but encouraged. We're working hard to take advantage of these opportunities, because collectively we can do far more than we can as individuals.
We have time for one more question.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for sharing your time and your knowledge with us. I think I was inspired by what you were saying about asking your teacher, and so what I would like to ask is, I'm sure there are some aspects of science that you cannot discuss with us, but I want to know what's a project that NASA scientists are currently working on that you're most excited about personally? What gets you up in the morning and you go, I wonder what the propulsion guys are going to report today?
Well, don't we all wake up saying that? There are some I can't discuss, not for reasons of them being classified, but there is competition underway right now. And I will say one thing, the ideas that come in, the ideas, when you throw open the field for competition and people come forward with the best mission ideas, it's unbelievable stuff. It's great. As far as the ones that are selected, I think the James Webb Space Telescope that will be 50 to 100 times more powerful than Hubble. Hubble has time and again changed the way we view the universe and literally resulted in the rewriting of textbooks. Imagine when we look that much farther, that much deeper in time, with that much more clarity. You know, the rovers, Messenger orbiting Mercury, you know, for the first time in orbit around that planet. The universe is so ripe for discovery that virtually anything we're doing that's new, that's never been done before, gets me excited as I watch that. When Spirit and Opportunity landed on Mars, I was there watching the first images come down, the energy in the room, the first pictures of the surface of Mars from that close. After this thing came in at, you know, like 700 miles an hour, whatever it was, and in a matter of seconds, fired its rockets and came to almost a suspension above the surface and then gently set down. The technology is incredible. And the last thing that really excites me in a very different, well, in a similar way, but also different, is the new Earth science missions that go up. And when we look at our own Earth in different ways, there's discovery, there's appreciation, and there's insight that will ultimately lead. You can be pessimistic or more negative and say, lead to our survival, or you can be more optimistic and say, allow us to thrive in our changing environment. Both of those are good things. I want to survive, I want to thrive, I'm guessing you do too. So, you know, that's not really an answer except to say there is so much spectacular stuff that, you know, as chief scientist, every day I'm blown away by something new. Thank you, I appreciate your time.